Welcome to In the Middle. I'm Vykky. I'm a wife, a mom, and a leader shaping some of the world's most beloved brands. This is the podcast for all of us figuring it out in real time. In 20 minutes or less, let's get in the middle of it all. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to In the Middle. I am so glad you are here. Today, we are talking green flags. I know I feel like sometimes on social, we spend so much time red flag this, red flag that. But today we are talking about the green flags I am never ignoring again. We're going to talk about it in friendships, relationships, careers, the workplace, and most importantly, green flags in ourselves. So, if this is something that you are looking for inspiration for, or if you have your own green flags, please drop them in the comments, leave them in the reviews. Speaking of, like, share, comment, review, all of those things are really helpful, especially with having a newer podcast. Anytime you leave a review or a rating, that really helps other people to discover the pod. So, want to say that in the upfront. Thank you for those of you who've already done reviews. You can always rate every single episode. Anything you can do to help In the Middle reach the right people, I greatly appreciate you. All right, so let's jump into these green flags. Leaving a review is a green flag, a positive review. Okay, let's jump into my green flags. So, green flags for adult friendships. What I am uncovering now, being a whole grown person and learning healthier boundaries with friendships and navigating friendships. And if you haven't listened to my episode, Navigating Adult Friendships, go back and listen to that one. I've gotten so much feedback and continue to get feedback on that episode, and it makes me want to spend more time talking there. I've been thinking about getting like a therapist on the pod or someone more qualified than me to talk more deeply about what it means to navigate friendships. But today we're going to talk about the green flags in friendships. So, one of my first examples of a green flag in a friendship is a friend who celebrates you out loud. Like, I think it's one thing for a friend to like just text you like, "Hey, congratulations," or you share something across dinner and they tell you. But friends who repost you in stories, friends who do something big like sending you something to celebrate a milestone, a friend who brags on you when you're not even in the room, like that is one of my favorite things to do. Something that my friends do sometimes that I think is hilarious, although it's clearly not true. They'll say like, "Oh, she is the CEO of Starbucks." And it's like, clearly I am not, but it's more so them and their excitement for me and my growth in my profession. And they just want to shout it from the rooftops. And I love that. I love when my friends love me out loud. And it is one of my greatest pleasures to love my friends out loud and big and be some of their biggest cheerleaders in their orbit. So heavy green flag on that. I should have got some flags to wave. Um, Another green flag is friends that don't compete with you. I have friends in my industry. I have friends that are not in my industry. And I just love that there is a very clear um, understanding that there is room for all of us, whether we are in the same industry or not. I just don't feel this sense of competition that maybe I felt when I was younger, or in friendships that weren't really healthy. I don't feel in competition. I feel like when my friends win, I win because they're getting that much closer to their goals. That means that they're going to be able to pour into me. Like it just, when they get a promotion, baby, I get a promotion. So I love that. I have friends that I get to cheer for and that I don't feel like I'm competing, whether it's superficial things about what we're wearing, vacations, or really, really heavy, big, important things like the way we're raising our kids. Like it feels very much, it's giving we're in a village, and it feels like we all want to see each other be very successful and there is no lack. And I love that for me. Another green flag in friendship is my friends that are celebrating and honoring the season that I am in. If you know me and you know what I'm navigating right now, I don't have an abundance of time. And the friends in my orbit today, I don't feel this added pressure to, I need to text right back. I need to call right back. We try to book these dates, and these dates, baby, they slide. It's like, okay, let's get on the call on Friday. We start looking up calendars. We're booking a month or two out and we will send agendas, but it's just, we get it. I don't feel this sense of needing to over explain myself or cancel something else because I think this friend is going to be mad because I can't make the call. I love that my village, we just get it. There's no love lost. We don't feel this pressure that we have to talk every single day. I've talked about it before, and at this point, they're going to need to start paying me. Marco Polo has just been a lifesaver for me. I've been able to do my level best to keep up with my friends because we get to share things that are going on in our day to day asynchronously and when it's most convenient for us. So, yes, friends who can just acknowledge, like, hey, you have littles. Like, girl, I'll come to you. And while we sit on the couch, I'll help you fold your laundry. Like, that's the green flag that I need in my life. It's like a friend who is willing to just, like, let's run errands together. Like, you need to make Amazon returns. Me too, girl. Let's go do this together at your local Kohl's or your Staples, wherever you're doing your Amazon returns. So, that is definitely a green flag for me in friendship. Okay, green flags in my career and workplace. Leaders that explain the why. And I know I'm a leader myself, and I do really try to make sure I'm giving my team the context as to whether something is shifting or why we can't do something or why we need to do something. Explaining that why goes such a long way. And so it is absolutely a green flag when my leaders can just give me the context and why we need to activate or execute something. A green flag in my career is feedback that develops and it doesn't diminish. It gets so hard when leaders give you very nuanced and very subjective feedback that you can't really action on. And that's a little bit of a beige flag. I'm not going to full on say red because I think sometimes learning how to give feedback is a muscle that you have to develop. So I'm going to assume positive intent that the leaders are still just working on that. But I find that my leaders are very, very good at giving actionable, specific feedback. And that is such a green flag, especially for me where I am in my career. I think at the director level, it's not as much feedback on your actual work. It's how you are moving the work through your team and in your department. And so having that clarity really, really goes a long way and it helps us to move faster and more efficiently. So, green flag. Your girl loves it. Green flag in my workplace is where my boundaries are respected and I don't feel penalized for them. And so, there are times where it's like, okay, I have to go do this thing for my kid, or I am going to take the day off. And candidly, even when I go on vacation, I still take my work laptop with me, much to my manager's chagrin. She's always like, just leave it at home. It is me. I am the problem. I still want to take it with me should I need it. But I just feel so supported and I feel like my boundaries are not only respected, but they're encouraged. And that is such a green flag. I feel so empowered to have the best, I don't like to say work life balance because I don't think it's a balance, work life flow. And having a leader who supports that and encourages that makes it that much easier. So, green flags in the workplace. Okay, in the same way that I talked about green flags in the friendships, green flags in the workplace with your colleagues, not feeling like you're in competition with them. I obviously sit within an organization that is a global organization. So, there are several directors who are my peers. And I just think we all have our own swim lanes. We all bring our own style and our own expertise, and it just feels like a well-oiled machine. And so, and I think that is rooted in just being surrounded by really smart, talented people. And I know that we all have likely been in workplaces where there's this scarcity mindset and people feel like they have to tear you down in order for them to rise up. And I don't experience that in my day in and day out. And so green flags to my colleagues who, they have their own thing going and they show up in a really authentic way that works for them. And I think we're all different. We all have different styles and approaches, but for where I sit, at least, it feels very authentic and true to who we are and how we work. And so it's a real big green flag for me that I get to show up like myself every single day. And I don't feel like I'm in competition with my peers. All right, let's talk about green flags in relationships. So Emmanuel and I just celebrated our 12th wedding anniversary, which is crazy because I feel like we just got married yesterday. But to be 12 years in, I think I can identify some really good green flags when it comes to relationships. So, one of my green flags is just the emotional security. Whether I am truly in like desperate need of support and advocacy, I know that he's going to be there for me and he's going to encourage me. He's going to pray for me. He's going to pray with me and he's going to support me, even if it's something really small with just having a hard day at work to something really major about my health or something my parents are navigating, whatever it is. I know that he is going to create space for me to feel safe and secure. And that is such a green flag, especially when you're dealing with your partner, because ideally that person is going to always have your best interests at heart. So that's a green flag for me. A green flag in my marriage, and I think we all should aspire to in our relationships, is having accountability without defensiveness. I find that, and Emmanuel does such a good job at this, and it's something that I continue to learn from him. He is quick to say, I'm sorry. And it's something that I struggled with, especially growing up. I really struggled with apologizing, and I'm definitely getting better now. But I've always known him to take accountability and not be defensive. And that's such a green flag. And I'm so thankful for that. And it actually has created space for me to not feel a sense of, what's the word? It's hard for me to even articulate it, but I feel safer taking accountability and not feeling like it's going to be used against me. I feel like that's exactly what it is. In past relationships or even past friendships, sometimes when you make a mistake and you're called out for the mistake, it is weaponized against you. And now, being in such a healthy relationship, I'm realizing now that that's actually a red flag. If you have the courage to take accountability, you shouldn't be beat down because of the mistake that you made. He has given me a tremendous amount of grace and safety in taking accountability and knowing that he's not going to hold it against me. So, green flag, babe. I really wish I had a flag to wave. Green flags in romantic relationships, being able to evolve and grow. I would say now, being 12 years in, I'm certainly not the person that he married or dated. Like, there are the core of who I am, my kindness, my thoughtfulness, um, my natural disposition certainly is still the same, but I have continued to refine the way that I speak, I look, how I cook. It's gotten better. Praise the Lord. But there have been small shifts that I've made over the years that he has created space for. And in the same way, I've created space for him. And so it's such a green flag to be in a relationship where not only are you allowed to evolve, it's celebrated and supported and encouraged. So very much a green flag for me. And can we talk about the most important green flags? It's the green flags we are recognizing within ourselves. So, a green flag about myself, I am finally celebrating progress over perfection. I don't know if you are a perfectionist like me, and actually I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist, but if I did not do every single thing on my to-do list, or if I didn't get every single thing right on the plan that I wanted to execute, then it was all a failure. And I am so grateful that the Lord has broken that spirit off of me. Honestly, y'all, doing this podcast, getting these reps in, there are times where I'm not crazy about the lighting or my makeup looks a little weird or whatever. And even just 2 to 3 years ago, I would have just trashed a whole episode and not put it out. But I am learning so much that it's so important to just execute. And that's why it's my word for the year. I just need to execute. And so I'm giving myself like green flags for just acknowledging that like I'm still making progress. It may not be perfect. And I don't even know if perfection is even my measure anymore. I just want to do the things that I say I'm going to do. I just want to execute and I want to get the thing out there. So that's one of my green flags. And speaking of celebrating, my next green flag is not waiting for an external factor or someone else to tell me that I'm allowed to celebrate myself. I've gotten so much better at celebrating myself and celebrating the small things. Sometimes I'd have to wait for something major, like a job promotion, like losing 20 pounds, like saving X amount of dollars. Like Now I am celebrating, you know what? I went for a walk today. That's worth celebrating. Or I delivered this project 2 days early. Like, that's worth celebrating. I am not waiting for major milestones to celebrate anymore. And it's such a green flag because I've realized now that I am filling my cup way more frequently because I'm not waiting for these big wins. I'm taking these little micro nano wins and filling my cups and really just I'm filling my cup and encouraging myself every single day. So it is such a green flag to be able to celebrate myself in the small and the large ways. Another green flag for myself, y'all, I am loving me, every single thing about me, even the things that are growth opportunities, my flaws. I love them. And I don't know if it has anything to do with me turning 40 or whatever it is, but I love my spirit. I love my quirks. I love how I look. I love how I feel. I love the life that I continue to build. I am loving myself, and it is such a green flag. It is such a good feeling. And I pray that for every single person on this earth. I wish that I could have gotten to this place faster for sure. But man, like, I love this journey that I'm on, and I love this season that I am in. And it is such a green flag to truly like love everything about myself, even the things that I'm working on, even the things that I know I need to continue to grow. I love the journey of growing. And yeah, it is such a green flag to finally be out of like beating myself down and just loving where I am and how I'm growing and evolving. My final green flag, I love the fact that I do what I say I'm going to do. And it's rare. I think that we have become a lot more finicky as a society, and accountability isn't really there. And I think sometimes when you hold somebody accountable, then they're offended and they're in their feelings. And so I love that I have developed over time, and I wasn't always like this. I was a little flaky, especially when I was younger. I would be late to things, and I would say I would go to somewhere and I wouldn't go. And I realized as I got older that one wasn't kind to people, and it wasn't kind to myself because I wanted to show up as someone with integrity, someone who would be dependable. And so now, like, I can confidently say, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Whether that means I'm coming to serve with someone, I'm going to watch somebody's kid, I'm going to put out an episode. Like, if I said I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I love that for me. And I love that about me. And it is such a green flag. So I hope this episode was fun for y'all. It was fun for me to create. I'd love to hear what your green flags are. What are the green flags you're looking for in your friendships, your relationships, in your workplace? If you're witnessing some red flags, how do you turn those into green flags? This was just a really fun episode. I find that we've been seeing a lot of red flags. I like it when I see the green flags in the husbands, or like the golden retriever husbands, those little social videos that are out there. And so I thought it would be fun to just do a green flags episode that I am no longer ignoring. So tell me your green flags in the comments or in the reviews. I can't wait to see what y'all have to say. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for listening to In the Middle. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend and click subscribe so you never miss an honest conversation about life in the middle. I'll see you next time.